So everyone, it is 6:35, and I'd like to announce that we are live captioning our meeting. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. So with that, at this time, I call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board for December 12th, 2023. I'm going to, for the record, call a roll of board members. I am going to note that Mr. Burnett, our student advisory trustee, is in the middle of finals, so his chair is empty. And also, Miss Susan Bittersmith is traveling and probably on a plane right now, so she will not be with us. So with that, I'm going to move forward. Miss Butler?
Present.
Thank you. Miss Davis?
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Narini?
Here.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
Ho, ho, ho.
Love it. Dr. Thor?
Present.
Thank you. And with my presence, we have 6 board members present, 1 absent, and our student advisory trustee is absent. I'd like to say something about this wonderful group to my left, who has been entertaining us this evening since 6 o'clock. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase and read this because I'd be hard-pressed to get out all the wonderful things I'd like to say. So this will keep me in a time zone for this. So first of all, we want to thank the Mariachi Osos del Valle of Phoenix College. See, I told you, don't rely on me to be able to do this completely. Mariachi Osos del Valle is Phoenix College's and the Maricopa Community College's first and only mariachi ensemble. They held their first rehearsals in the fall of 2019 under the direction of Maestro Mike Dominguez. The mariachi has been highlighted in events both at Phoenix College and in the greater Phoenix community. And I've had opportunities to hear you several times. And as I was thinking through this last board meeting of the year, I thought, what better way to close out a very good year for the district, but secondly, celebrate the end of that year, but also acknowledge the season we're in. So that was what inspired me, because I'd heard them so often and they just are so good. Really appreciate that. So recently, they've had performances at the Mexican Independence Day at the Arizona State Capitol by invitation of the Mexican Consulate and the Tucson International Mariachi Festival. And so in celebrating mariachi music and culture, Mariachi Osos del Valle and 7 other mariachis from the Phoenix area are going to perform at Phoenix College Mariachi Festival on April 20, 2024, which is just around the corner, I might add, at 7:30 in Bullpit Auditorium. So if you get a chance, I think it'd be wonderful to hear them, and awesome that you're going to be participating in that festival. This is not part of my script, but I do want to throw something out, so forgive me if I'm stepping out of line. They do accept donations to assist students who may wish to join the ensemble, but may not have the financial resources to purchase their own instruments and mariachi attire. So just FYI, and if you'd like to learn more about our giving opportunities, please call, and I have a number. You can contact me and I'll give you the number. How about if we do it that way? And thank you for taking your time. We have how many students in this group here?
So this group, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 15. We have a lot of college students in their finals and stuff like that too. So
Taking the effort to be with us tonight in spite of finals and all your other obligations really means a lot to us. So let's give them another round of applause and appreciation. I hear rumors that it's special to come to a board meeting, so we appreciate you making that attempt. And don't go away, because I'll have one more thing for you to do. Okay? All right. Also, I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce and welcome our newest members of the Maricopa family. First, Dr. Lisa Armour. Please stand wherever you are. She's our new Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, and in this role, Dr. Armour will lead the Division of Academic and Student Affairs, advancing student-focused services, and helping transform our system's strategic goals into focused action. So welcome, and delighted you're here with us this evening. Our other newest executive employee is Ms. Lee Ann Bone, our new Chief Operating Officer. Ms. Bone brings with her over 23 years of experience in a number of areas, including health services, social services, legal services, budget finance, risk management, and emergency security services. We're so delighted to have you in that position and with that experience. So you're joining Dr. Heather Carter, who was with us at our last board meeting, and just want to say again, welcome to the Maricopa family. And we all look forward to working with you. So now we're going to move into the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. And Mr. Dominguez, please carry us on.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, once again, let's say thank you. All right, we're moving into the meeting now, the boring part. The important part, but the boring part. There are no substitutions this evening, but now I'm excited to say that we're ready for our student life report, and it's the Phoenix College United Government that is coming to the podium. So please join us at the podium or come to the podium, and we're eager to hear from you.
Hello. Okay. Can we get the presentation up, please? Okay. Next slide, please. Buenas noches, Presidente Sullivan, miembros de la Junta Directiva, Dr. Gonzalez, miembros de la CEC y invitados. Estoy orgullosa de representar a Phoenix College, una universidad reconocida con el sello de excelencia y con gusto atiende a estudiantes como yo. Next slide, please. Good evening, President Sullivan, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, members of the CEC, and guests. I am proud to represent Phoenix College, a seal of excelencia recognized college who gladly serves students like me. I am Damaris Cano Martinez, president of the Phoenix College United Student Government. I'm majoring in business, and I plan to graduate in 2022. Next slide, please. My fellow executive officers and I are honored to show you tonight and share some of the exciting things happening at Phoenix College. Next slide, please. Being the first is something we take to heart at Phoenix College. We want to share some of those firsts with you tonight. PC promotes a culture of learning, responsibility, leadership, and community with other students. Student Senator Imelda Hartley will share some of those examples of this commitment to learning.
Good evening. My name is Imelda Hartley. This is my second year as a student senator representing Phoenix College. I'm planning to get my Associate's of Science degree in 2027. PC is the first community, next slide please, I'm sorry. Thank you. PC is the first community college in Arizona to have a MESA program, Mathematics, Engineering, and Science Achievement, a national recognized program that provides resources and support for students pursuing a STEM-based degree. 3 engineering students under the guidance of adjunct faculty, Dr. Amal Saeed Yagub, presented the research project on superhydrophobic surfaces at the 2023 NCURE Symposium EUM held at ASU in April. They took first place in the non-NCURE student section and third place in the community favorite section. During International Education Week, we celebrated global education by participating in a variety of events, including international dances, cooking demonstrations, and a multicultural fashion show. Each event was as beautiful as it was educational. New this year is our Beer Talk series that highlights our faculty and the personal and professional stories. Students hear relatable stories that help to create connection and engagement. Next is Naz, who will share about responsibility. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Hello, guys. My name is Naz Denga, Vice President of Advocacy. My major is Political Science, and I'm graduating this 2024. Next slide, please. PC values its responsibility to community through civic engagement, primarily voter education and registration. We hosted a voter registration day and partnered with Arizona Town Hall to host our U.S. Constitution Day to discuss importance of equity for all Arizonans. This summer, PC was one of the 15 community colleges selected among 150 nationwide that were awarded the USC Takeoff Grant, a project led by the USC Race and Equity Center to fund and provide technical support to community colleges to support men of color. This $20 million commitment aims to transform the higher education experience for Black, Latinx, and Southeast Asian men, and also Native American men, in community colleges campuses. Next slide, please. Phoenix College was recently certified as a Seal of Excellencia institution. PC is leading the way as the first community college in Arizona and the Maricopa District to be recognized with the Seal of Excellencia. The seal recognizes colleges and universities for intentionally serving Latino students and for demonstrating positive student outcomes. Go Bears! Next is Solomon Sewell, who will be talking about leadership.
Well, good evening, everyone. Probably back this up because I'm already kind of loud. My name is Solomon Sewell. I'm planning on getting my Associates of Arts in Philosophy and Political Science, and I'm the Vice President of Involvement. Leadership development is one of the core values of our institution. PC students attended the Maricopa Community College's Leadership Ignite program at Gateway to learn how to create positive change in our community. Following this trend of developing future leaders, we participated in the intercollegiate student leadership experience with all 10 Maricopa Community Colleges and Coco Nino Community College in Prescott, Arizona. We took 20 student leaders to camp, and they came away committed to using their position to enact positive change. Learning from other leaders' experiences, trials, and achievements helps future leaders identify barriers that they may encounter. Our NAACP and Black Student Union hosted the Black Men's Panel that highlighted African American leaders in our community and their leadership journey. Next slide, please. During our annual homecoming activities, PC student body elected our 2023 homecoming royalty, Alfonso. In addition, our Native American Student Association, or NASA, took second place in the school division for their float entry during the Native American Connections Parade. Lastly, our men and women's soccer teams participated in the NJCAA Division II National Championships. Our men's team ended the season as runners-up, and our women's took third place. We are so proud of their effort and their hard work. Now, let me turn it over to Michael Gatlin to tell you about our PC community. Next slide, please.
Good evening. My name is Michael Gatlin, and I'm a PC United member at large. My major is architectural engineering, and I am graduating in 2025. Next slide. PC's engagement with the campus and surrounding community is incredibly important to us. Next slide. PC students engaged in community service such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Days of Service, where we participated in garden beautification and team building activities with the kids at Encanto Elementary School. Our campus also hosted our second annual Monster Ball for Halloween, which saw over 400 people from our community attend this year. Also new this year is our first mariachi group, Oso del Valle, who are making a cultural impact through music on our campus and the community. Weren't they amazing? Let me turn it over to Morris to close us out.
Next slide, please. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. As you can see, we have been busy at Phoenix College. We are proud to tell you about how PC supports us. Somos Osos por Vida. We are Bears for Life, and we love Phoenix College, the flagship of Maricopa. We wish you all a safe and happy holiday Gracias y buenas noches.
Don't go away. Does anyone have any questions or comments for them?
No, but I want a picture of the sign.
Oh, Ms. Davis wants a picture of your signs, so you may want to hold them up again. And you may want, one of you may want to check to make sure it's going the right, there you go. Okay, Ms. Davis is doing this. In the meantime, while there everyone's posing, is there a question for folks? Well, I attended Phoenix College years ago. One of you asked me when. I couldn't remember the year. I don't know what that says about my age. But it was a wonderful environment, and I'm really excited to hear that you also find it that way. The other thing, coming from student government, I want to tell you, please keep up what you're doing, because our generations are relying on you. We need youth who is both learning about government, practicing civic responsibility, and choosing to move those experiences forward. And I really mean it. We are counting on you. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you. Now, Faculty Executive Council, Ms. Dr. Marcio. Bonjour. I told you no French, but oh well.
Now it's on. Mhm. Madam President, members of the board, Chancellor, CEC colleagues, honored students and guests, Jambo, and Joyeuse Noël. Mhm. On behalf of faculty leadership, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Lisa Armour, Dr. Heather Carter, and Ms. Leanne Bone. We look forward to working with you. Now, in the holiday spirit, I would like to offer up a short poem.
Okay, well, here, hold on.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Okay.
This wasn't planned, by the way. I had no idea she was bringing her hat.
Yeah. Just great minds. Yeah. In a small town near a community college district so grand, lived excited college students, books in hand. In the library, they studied with care, hoping success soon would be theirs. Faculty members, wise and kind, guided their path with knowledge combined. With lectures and guidance, they shared their skill, nurturing dreams, encouraging will. And on the governing board, members of note ensured resources and support would promote. For the community college district, they held it dear, fostering growth and progress each year. As the holidays approached, they gathered one night to celebrate together in a soft twinkling light. For in unity and learning, they found delight, a community thriving, shining so bright. Through challenges and triumphs, they stood side by side in this holiday tale with hearts open wide. A student, a faculty member, a board member's might. Together they built a future so bright. Happy holidays to all, and to all, a good night.
Thank you. Good poem. Now for the Adjunct Faculty Association report, Ms. Boge.
Good evening, President Sullivan, esteemed governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, and all attending tonight. It's lovely to see you all here. And also a special thanks and congratulations to the Phoenix College students that presented tonight. Phoenix College is my home campus, and so you make me especially proud. I was smiling ear to ear the whole time you were presenting, and you bring us great joy showing how much you're invested. I have only a brief update on the adjunct faculty group tonight. Our reps have been given the month off from our monthly meetings so that they can better attend to semester, end of semester work, grading, and connecting with the adjuncts on their respective campuses. I will say that we have completed our town hall meetings. We had 2 different town halls with 2 sessions each. The first highlighted compensation and our tiers program, and the second included discussions on shared governance, working conditions, and conflict resolution. We have just finalized our survey that we'll be sending out tomorrow, along with recordings of our town halls, so that we can get some feedback from our adjuncts as well as other campus members, so that we can plan our next, what's coming up in the next year and how best to address things. We also had, it was brought to our attention during these town halls that service adjunct or the service adjunct community would like further discussion on some of the issues that we discussed. And so we have, our Glendale Community College adjunct reps have taken it upon themselves to plan listening sessions for the service adjuncts so that we can get a better feel for what they're interested in and how to address things with them. Our bylaws committee is discussing policy for new information to be included in our adjunct faculty group bylaws moving forward. And our outstanding adjunct committee is beginning their work for the Outstanding Adjuncts Awards in the spring. Beyond that, I will wish you all a Frohe Weihnachten. I don't have a lot of French, but I do have a German heritage, so. And I wish you peace, and I wish you, in whatever way you celebrate, a lovely holiday. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bode. So now, Mr. Kelvin Duvall and Ms. April Coulson for our staff representation update.
Good evening, President
Good
Sullivan,
evening.
Governing Board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC, and guests. My name is April Rowland. I'm the Staff Representation Co-President. Next slide, please. We are highlighting Phoenix College tonight. Brandon Larkin is our exempt senator. Michael Wainscott and Aaron Love are our exempt staff reps. And Robert Barben is our sworn officer. Next slide, please. Our non-exempt members are Diana Martinez, Jennifer Witt, Ivan Gutierrez Lucero.
We wanted to go over some staff highlights for fall of 2023. We wanted to, first of all, call attention to something that hasn't happened since 2019. We saw an increase in enrollment. In fact, 4.6 district-wide. And the staff has worked tirelessly to make sure that we assist students in admissions process and enrollment process and various support processes and supporting faculty to make sure that our students get the best possible learning experience they can. Also, we want to highlight 7 bachelor programs that's right now completing their first semester. We have 2,150 students currently enrolled in bachelor programs. That's amazing. And once again, staff have been there assisting, supporting students throughout the entire process. Staff representation also would like to highlight our involvement in shared governance and how we have participated in many of the successful searches, ending in a new provost, in a new COO, and various other executive level positions at the district and college levels. And also expanding with shared governance, I've been chairing some of these executive searches, including the COO search that was tri-chaired by Shannon Maji, past president. Also, staff representation and staff from around the district have been working very hard with alignment and execution of the Maricopa strategic goals and the chancellor's goals. And this is something that we take a lot of pride in, and we will be continuing this effort going into 2024. We also want to highlight that staff representation has elected a new co-president. Co-president-elect Jason Rich. He's a software developer, senior. He is from Rio Salado College. It's the college that produces all the great co-presidents of staff representation. He was a staff rep from 2020 to 2023 and the Rio senator from 21 to 23. His term will start July 1 of 2024, and we are very excited to have him on board. And finally, we want to extend to not only the governing board, Chancellor Gonzalez, the presidents, everyone here, friends, employees, a warm and lovely holidays coming up here, and enjoy your time off. Thank you.
Thank you for all the reports, and we appreciate how every year, every month, you come forward with a report and offer us information, and certainly beneficial to the board to have that point of view presented, and we look forward to more. And you never know, we might start telling you what to do. in those reports as I'm moving on. I can say that now. No, but look forward to thinking through in your reports, perhaps, what is it you really want us to know that's different? Or what is the impact? I certainly hear from board members that we appreciate knowing who's representing and those types of things. I think we can now, since we're all pretty stable, take it up a notch. And let's start hearing a little bit more about some of your challenges so that we as board members can understand how we can support you and offer our wisdom, if you will, thoughts as to how to move that forward. But it's been a delight to listen to you and have the privilege of hearing you every month. So thank you, all of you who are putting forward those pieces of information for us. We appreciate it. Now, exciting part of the evening, our Emeritus Awards and Recognitions. They've been building, and now we have 4 for this evening. So first, we're going to call Mr. Brad Bates with the Chandler Gilbert Community College folks to the podium, and let's start there.
President Sullivan, members of the board, I'm so excited to honor Brad Bates this evening. When I think about the faculty, when I first came to Chandler Gilbert, who really represented the values of the college, I can't think of anyone who did it more than Brad. And especially really our Williams campus. If you visited, you'll just see it, that energy. But someone who can really speak much better than me is Dr. Alyssa Richardson. So I'm going to ask her to join us.
Good evening. It's a privilege to be here and to honor Brad Bates. He's a pioneer of sorts with only space and opportunity. At the start of his more than 25-year teaching career, he developed the chemistry program at Chandler Gilbert's Williams campus. This groundbreaking task included establishing the science support lab, writing courses, curriculum, developing lab prep sheets, and defining practices and procedures of accountability for faculty and staff. In addition to his outstanding teaching, Brad always supported STEM outreach programs. In the early years of the Williams campus, he was instrumental in establishing a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. And this supported K-12 outreach with computer science. This partnership included the community at the start of the Williams campus, and it served as a way of promoting the courses and programs at Chandler Gilbert's Williams campus. For the past 10 years, Brad has been a consistent supporter of the Hermanas STEM Outreach Initiative by funding and facilitating workshops and encouraging others to volunteer. In addition, Brad started and advised the Health Sciences Student Organization for several years. His leadership reached beyond the classroom and the Williams campus, positively influenced all of Chandler Gilbert Community College. Brad served as a division chair for a total of 6 years. During his first term, 2003 through 2005, the division included all sciences. His second time as chair, he led the Physical Sciences and Engineering division, and he led the faculty through a time of reorganization, and for 2 consecutive terms, his steadfast leadership, guided by his unwavering commitment to students and faculty and staff, provided stability during a time of transition. Brad established division practices of accountability and provided mentorship and professional guidance to all faculty within the division. During the last 3 years, Brad took the lead in developing and teaching online chemistry courses. This included submitting a proposal to obtain funding for take-home lab kits for chemistry classes and developing online curriculum that includes meaningful lab experiences. He set the standard for successful online chemistry courses at Chandler Gilbert Community College, demonstrating his flexibility and excellent teaching skills. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with Brad. We miss him, however, his standard of excellence will always be a part of Chandler Gilbert Community College.
Thank you.
Give me a second here. That was really nice. It's great to be here tonight, mainly because there's two words that come to mind as I'm sitting or standing here listening to Greg and to Arlisa. And those two words have always been for me gratitude and joy. And you'll have to bear with me here because these things mean a lot to me. One of the things that I have always been thankful for is President Arnett Ward hiring me back in 1997. She had the vision of a Williams campus, and there were a group of us that she sent out there to start it. There were only 20 of us out there, and I'll tell you what, that was a magical time because we had a relationship with ASU East where we had their students, we had our students, we had an open door. Let's try new technologies, let's try new curriculum, let's just make this happen. And everybody was in the boat, and everybody was rowing together. And I got to tell you guys, you know, there's no feeling like that. When you're out there, we used to call it the Outback because we're out there at Williams, you know, around the periphery. And it was just great because we had support. The board started that, they approved that, our president was behind us, and we just got it done, you know, and it was a really cool time to start at the college. And one of the things I picked up on really, really quickly that told me that I was going to stay at this college for my entire career, and that was what Arnett Ward started, and that was the focus of our college has always been on our students. That's just a phrase, but that's something we lived every day. You know, and anybody that didn't want to play that way, they usually were gone for a while. Because if you don't make students the core of what you're doing in education, I'm not sure why you're in education. And so that's why I always knew I was in the right place. So I have a tremendous amount of gratitude just having the opportunity to go to Chandler Gilbert and the opportunity to be part of something from the ground up at Williams. Because as an educator, that was really a lot of fun. The other side of the gratitude comes to, you know, the people that you work with. You know, I would come to work happy because I had this great job out there and it was so much fun dealing with students and it was so much fun being able to create new things. But, you know, everybody, sometimes you have a rough day, you know, sometimes things aren't going well. Like when you're a division chair, I know those of you in leadership know, you know, it's a great job. You can support faculty, you can watch them teach, there's a lot of good stuff, but there are some days that are a little challenging sometimes. I cannot tell you how many people, you know, and some of them are in this room right now with me, were just a kind word, or just a thought, or just saying, hey, you doing okay, or what can I do to help? You know, when you work with that kind of group of people, it's very productive, it's very positive, and we're always going forward. And I mean, I loved it, and I really, like, the word gratitude just comes to mind. And the other side of it is, I was really fortunate, I teach chemistry. And I know chemistry isn't everybody's bag, right? It can be a very, very challenging course for students. And I teach freshmen, so a lot of the freshmen come to the college for the first time. They're sitting in my lecture and their eyes are really, really large and their hearts are sinking. And, you know, we go to lab and I tell them, hey, come on, hang in there. It's going to get better. You know, you just have to learn how to commit to yourself. And I kept saying that to them, look, this isn't about me or the course. This is about you as a young person figuring out how you can get up to your potential. And I tell you, you know, the first exam is always a wake-up call. They're in my office, you know, they're trying to talk about things. And I said, guys, just commit to it. Just believe in yourself. Just know that you can do this. The joy part of this job is when you actually see, and there have been hundreds of them, guys, that have come into my freshman year and not thinking that they belong there, not thinking they were supposed to be at a college. But you just have to keep telling them, look, you belong here. You're supposed to be here. You just have to commit. You just have to believe in yourself. And I can't tell you, you know, at the end of the year, the look in their eyes, you can see it. You know, it's not about the grades. The grades have gotten better. They've figured this out. They've committed to themselves. And then there's no better joy for me as an educator than to look in someone's eyes who 6 months or 9 months before, you saw that doubt, that self-doubt. They didn't think they belonged. And my God, when you get to May and you look in their eyes and they're saying, yeah, final exam, I'm going to rock it. You can see they not only believe that they can be successful in chemistry, but they believe in themselves. And that to me is a joy that I really miss having retired. And it is something that I have a lot of gratitude given the, you know, Arnett Ward gave me that opportunity. I can't thank her enough, and I can't thank all the people that have been helping me through this journey. And thank you this evening for giving me a chance to talk with you about that, because I'm very passionate about it. And unfortunately, my wife couldn't be here tonight because I wanted to say this with her here, but sometimes passionate people are a little bit out there, you know, and so I could never have been able to accomplish or have the career that I had without her love and her support and her her wisdom, and her kindness. And so I wish she was here tonight to hear that, because I really owe it all to her. So thank you for everything you do for our students. It really makes a difference. It does. And thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Congratulations to you. And Mr. Bates, we're on public record, so your wife could listen to the report later and listen to you. She'll hear the message. All right, we do have someone who may be joining us virtually this evening from Rio Salado Community College. That's Dr. Wanda Tucker. And Ms. Smith, podium is yours.
Thank you so much, President Sullivan.
Sorry, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, President Sullivan, members of the board, Chancellor, members of CEC, and everybody else. We are so thrilled to honor Dr. Wanda Tucker tonight. As President Sullivan mentioned, she is joining us virtually, so she is here and listening. So it is truly my distinct pleasure to share a little bit about her journey. Dr. Tucker began working with Rio Salado College in 2007. She started her career with us as an adjunct faculty member at Luke Air Force Base, and then moved into our instructional help desk. And then in 2010, she became the chair for psychology, philosophy, and religious studies. And if I'm honest with you, from the very beginning, Dr. Tucker always went so far above and beyond in her duties as a faculty member, as a professor, as a chair, and as a colleague. So I'm going to give you just a few highlights, but what's really important in these highlights is if you think about what went into the accomplishments and the recognitions she received over the years. So we'll start in 2016 when Dr. Tucker received the Maricopa Institute for Learning Research Fellow, as well as the Maricopa Diversity Advisory Council Award. In 2017, she created Rio's annual Day of Remembrance. This is an event that has become deeply meaningful to the college community. In 2018, she received the John and Suzanne Rush Excellence Award and the Homer Sarason Award, which is awarded by her peers. In 2019, she was the featured scholar of the 1619 project with USA Today. Highly recommend watching it if you haven't had a chance to see it. In that year, she also started our flagship MLK Day of Celebration by inviting Dr. Christine Darden to the college, who you might know through the Hidden Figures book. Also in 2019, she became our Faculty Senate President, which means she had the dubious honor of working alongside all of leadership, all of faculty, and the college as a whole as we navigated through the global pandemic. In 2020, she was secured legislative proclamation of Black History Month in Arizona, and she was honored on the legislative floor. In 2021, she received the NYSOD Excellence Award. In 2022, she launched the Males of Color Academy, and she capped it all off in 2023, being recognized by the American Association of Community Colleges as one of 4 finalists for Faculty of the Year. Dr. Wanda Tucker, I'm looking up in the air at you. We just are so thrilled and honored to award you with this emeritus distinction. It is more than well deserved. Congratulations. Unfortunately, Dr. Tucker chose not to make remarks afterwards, but we know that we hope you can hear all of the applause and honor that you're receiving, Dr. Tucker. And with that, President Sullivan, if I may move to the next. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
At first, if Dr. Tucker had spoken, she would have been called the voice of God, the
Yes.
VOG on a script. So that was really a lost opportunity for her. I'm sorry.
She was a woman of cloth at one point in her career. So
Anyway,
it really
congratulations.
would have been fitting.
Yeah, congratulations to her. And now please on so we can recognize Mr. John Jensen. Thank you.
Yes, so we are very excited that Mr. John Jensen is with us. So JJ, will you come on down? So I told John that we would ask him to come stand up here and stand right next to me
Stand right
so I
next to me,
can talk about him, and it's really awkward. So what I first want to do also, though, is recognize joining John tonight is his incredible wife, Joyce. Who some of you may recognize as a retiree from PVCC. And so we're so glad that you're with us tonight, Joyce. So, John Jensen began his career with Rio Salado College in 1978. Not sure if that year rings a bell with anybody, but if you know your Maricopa history, that is the year that Rio Salado College opened its doors. So really, we are built on the backs of John Jensen. So in his time as an adjunct, he received several recognitions, and I think I'd like to share a few before he came on his full-time chair. Let's begin in 1985, when he was named a Woodrow Wilson Fellow at Princeton University. Then in 1987, he received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics Teaching for Arizona, a distinction which took him to Washington, D.C. to receive that award from then-President Ronald Reagan. And then in 1998, John was named the first Siemens Advanced Placement Awardee, and then in 2001, we got him at Rio full-time. And so, after joining Rio, he served as Faculty Senate President. He went on to lead the redesign of Rio's developmental math curriculum, and he was the visionary behind one of my personal favorites, the development of the Math Emporium. I mean, so great. John Jensen received the John and Sue Ann Rusch Award of Excellence in 2014 and the Homer Sarasan Award for Meritorious Service in 2015. He was a frequent national and international presenter, sharing his knowledge with math instructors in South Korea, Germany, Turkey, and Hong Kong, to name a few, and I'm sure Dr. Lisa Marcio could probably speak languages from all of those countries for you. John published articles on the teaching of calculus for the World Education Journal, applications of the definite integral, love that, chapters on approximation using Riemann sums, Euler's method, and most recently, he authored hundreds of exercises for Cengage's Calculus for AP, a complete course. However, what is not reflected in all of those accomplishments is that John has impacted hundreds upon hundreds of students as well as colleagues. When we held John's retirement celebration, he had students that he had taught when they were in high school, who had kept in touch with him over the years, who flew and made the effort to come to Arizona just to be there to recognize him and celebrate him, which tells you probably everything about the kind of person and teacher John Jensen is. John, we all, or many of us, if you know John, you know his wit and his humor is off the charts. But what you always lead with is your heart. And you have made mathematics accessible to so many with your kindness and your welcoming, and you have impacted all of us and left quite the legacy for us. So with that, John, it is my distinct honor and privilege to award you emeritus status.
Thank you.
And now it's all yours.
Here we go, and now you hand it to me, okay. Even a gregarious mathematician, when they're talking to you, looks at your shoes. And I guess I'm a gregarious mathematician, but as Dr. Smith said, I started at Rio Salado in 1978. I knew it was going to be something wonderful. I varied from there, left, taught at Scottsdale, taught at Maricopa Tech, which once existed, taught at Paradise Valley, taught at a lot of places. It sounds like I'm pretty unstable as an employee, but eventually, I was teaching high school at the same time, so eventually I retired from teaching in the Paradise Valley School District in 2001. Got bored with that. In 2002, I had the privilege of applying for an opening at Rio Salado once again. And I consider that the first bookend of my Rio Salado residential faculty career, thanks to the magnificent Dr. Linda Thor. And and stayed there for 21 years. I had the pleasure, of course, of having the other bookend of my Rio Salado career be Dr. Kate Smith. I have had wonderful students, fabulous colleagues, extraordinary people, great students, and many of them, and we got to develop some ideas and some thoughts that I think were groundbreaking. So after all that time, my wife of 42.94 years told her superannuated husband that it's about time to come home, and so I did, in advance of my 75th birthday. I looked up what emeritus means, and it literally meant veteran soldier, and I thought that was odd, and then I thought about it some more. It's probably fitting. And I have a definition for it, but I also have an acronym for emeritus, and it goes like this: elderly mathematician, essentially retired. It's time. Understand, sir? Many thanks to all of you, board members, administrators, my good friends, Dr. Thor and Dr. Smith. Thank you. This is a privilege, and I am absolutely delighted to receive it.
Thank you. Congratulations. Ms. Diaz, would you like to come forward? We now are going to recognize Mr. Frank Zamora from Gateway Community College. Dr. Diaz.
Thank you. President Sullivan, members of the Governing Board, Chancellor Gonzalez, CEC members, students, and guests, it is my great honor to recognize Mr. Frank Zamora, retired counseling faculty and chair of the counseling department at Gateway Community College with emeritus status this evening. As I prepared for tonight, it was fun to review Frank's original resume. We found it in HCM. In many ways, Frank's career in Maricopa embodies the careers of many of our employees, and I'd like to share just a little bit about Frank before asking him to speak. In 1982, Frank began as a student and clerical worker at Mesa Community College in the business division. He also worked as a learning aide at MCC before stepping away from Maricopa to try a stint in banking. Lucky for us, Frank returned to Mesa Community College in 1988 as a temporary clerk typist working for the Dean of Instruction and in the Advisement Center before transferring to Chandler Gilbert Community College in 1989. Frank eventually worked in student affairs as the supervisor for admissions and recruitment and the manager of student services. At some point during this time, Frank completed his master's degree in counseling and transferred to Gateway Community College in 2006 as a counseling faculty member. Frank devoted over 39 years working in Maricopa, with over 32 of those years spent in full-time positions and 16 of his last years at Gateway. I remember in September of 2016, when I started at Gateway as an instructional dean, Frank was serving as the chair of the counseling department and was in one of my first direct report meetings. I did a lot of listening that day and recall thinking after that meeting, wait, does he report to me or do I report to him? I actually knew that Frank and I would get along well and enjoy our time together because of his passion for helping others, and especially students. But once we realized that we both liked golf and celebrity sightings, that sealed the deal. Frank was my people. If we had more time and the opportunity, you'd hear from others, many in this room, that Frank was their person too. He just has a way about him that makes you feel special, cared for, and included. I have so many fun stories to share about Frank, but in the interest of time, I'll just share one. Frank came to share an idea with me that he had, and he had coined the NOW program, No Opportunity Wasted. His pitch included a problem, an interpretation of professional judgment from the Department of Education, a solution, a budget, and an implementation plan with a timeline that he wanted me to just think about. Well, you know, if you've worked with Frank before, and when you're asked to just think about it, it really means that he's already done a lot of thinking about it, and what he wants is for you to clear the path for him to make it happen. So I did. And as many of you in this room know, the labor of love that is the NOW program, it has helped hundreds of Gateway students get back on track and not waste their time or opportunity. Oh, and it was so successful that it was selected as the Gateway and Maricopa Innovation of the Year recipient in 2018. Even though I was relatively new to that process, I remember telling Frank that the NOW program had to win the Innovation of the Year that year because it had it all: innovation, student success, collaboration, and results. And I was right. As one of Frank's nominators wrote about the NOW program in their emeritus status submission as well. However, the truth is that there could be any of a handful of great programs originated by Frank and his team, many of whom are here tonight in the audience, including Dash, that have had a positive impact on Gateway students, faculty, and staff. We could have told you about the partnership with First Place, or the development of the college's first Title V grant, or the constant mentorship he provided to several staff and faculty members over the years. But the reality is that Frank was a colleague, a collaborator, an innovator who knew how to inspire a team of people to get things done. Therefore, it is my pleasure to present Frank Zamora, my friend and colleague, with this emeritus status recognition.
I didn't have anything planned, but I sometimes don't need that. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity. For those that nominated me, Kelly Green, Suzanne Ringel, and with the help of Dr. Diaz, it is one of my life's greatest honors. I started doing this basically to support students. I remember back when I started, all I wanted is a job. That's it. I just wanted a job, somebody to give me a job, and it turned into a 39-year career. And so thank you, Maricopa, for the opportunity for not just making it a job, but a career. If I could do something a little different, you know, I'm a counselor and I've done this in class. If you could just raise your hand if you're connected to me, because I want to show you. And the reason I show you this is because there is no way that I do this by myself. It is using your resources, the love you have and the passion you have for what you do, and you give it 110%. I've been very lucky to have all these people behind me doing this. But I think the one person, well, I have my kids here as well. My son flew in from Los Angeles to be here, so I appreciate that. Yeah. I know this is crazy, but he took time away from cutting mice up. So I'm like, oh my God. All right. He's a scientist. What are you going to do? But I tell you this. You have great people that are always behind you. I have a great family. I have a great life. We talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you talk about self-actualization and when you reach the top. And I think I'm about 95% of the way there. I finally can sit back and relax and smell the roses of what you've done in your life. But none of this happens without Lover. And if you don't know who Lover is, it's my wife, Barbara. And you're probably going, it's a governing board. Why are you going to say Lover?
It's okay.
Because it wouldn't be true if I just said Barbara. So it's because of Barbara. As I said in my retirement, she does things right all the time by people. She doesn't cut corners. She's truthful. She's hard with me sometimes about reality of what I should do and not do, like what I was wearing tonight. So, but she's the one person that I was always counting on to ask a question or if I had a problem. And I've been doing that with her for 37 years. And thank you for all. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Diaz. Thank you. We're so delighted honoring four incredible people. the accolades that have poured forth are pretty impressive, and I think our district has been better because of their participation with us. So thank you. Dr. Gonzalez, I'm turning this over to you now for your update, please.
Thank you, President Sullivan. It's really tough to follow those really moving, inspiring stories. I come to you from exile over here.
Yeah. It happens, sorry.
As someone in the audience pointed out, I'm not going to say Dr. Britt who said that, but...
Okay, well, just move on. Just move on down,
I sort
as
of
they
feel
say.
like the stinky kid in class at this point, too. Was it the onions that I ate at dinner?
We're not leaving a very good impression, I think, with our three new leaders.
I'm sorry, I'm being myself up here, and maybe I'm helping laugh a little bit to get through the emotional stuff that we just heard there. And so, Frank, I thank you. If I had any success at Gateway, Frank played a tremendous role with, being a leader amongst the faculty. He never needed a title of any sort. And I think Amy said it best. I reported to Frank for 7.5 years when I was at Gateway. So congratulations to you, Frank, and many wishes on your retirement. And also congratulations to the others who were recognized here tonight. It's pretty awesome. So President Sullivan, members of the board, that is not my entire report. It's not on my script tonight. I want to talk about a few things, mostly around what you might expect moving forward in the Chancellor's update here, and maybe there being some segments that you can count on, especially around some areas when we look at data, and it might, have some places where it's like, did you know, or maybe it's an area where I call the sort of compare, contrast and analysis segment, very high level, and then of course if there's ever interest in the board in learning more about that, then we'll do that. So first, you already introduced President Sullivan. You took the opportunity to introduce our newest executive leaders, and I again want to welcome them and congratulate them on winning the roles and being here. We're really excited to have you. We've had conversations in our short time already about, expectations and things and the types of cultures that we're trying to build here in Maricopa. These are folks that you will likely see in front of you here at the board meetings to present. And given that we're kind of mid-year, you're also going to see some folks that you're accustomed to seeing up here too, and I'm specifically talking about our Chief Human Resource Officer, our Vice Chancellor of Business Services, and our CIO. These are folks that are engaged in some of that daily work, and so you'll continue to hear from their voices as well as we introduce these new senior leaders. Going back to the sort of compare, contrast, and the analysis offered, I give you an example tonight related to Phoenix College, since they were the group that was presenting. Phoenix College is actually seeing a year-over-year growth of 9% in enrollment from 2022 to 2023, which represents over 1,000 students. So congratulations to the faculty and staff, especially those involved in the marketing and recruitment effort to attract 1,000 more students over a year's period. Their Bachelor of Applied Science degrees in IT and Public Administration launched in this fall, and as well as numerous new certificate programs. Most notably under Dr. Britt's leadership, Phoenix College celebrated its recognition of being a Seal of Excellencia institution, which occurred in September. And here's something that you may or may not know, but these are the top 5 classes taken by students at Phoenix College. Number 1 is English 101. Number 2 is English 102. Number 3 is Psych 101. Number 4 is COM 100. And number 5 is CIS 105. My only disappointment is that a math course did not make the top 5, but it is number 7. So we've got to see what we can do about that, Dr. Britt. And that's probably fairly common across our system. And I think I see most of the presidents shaking their head if they were to conduct that same level of analysis around most commonly taken course, that those are probably it. Often called some of our gateway courses because they're the ones that may prevent students from moving forward once they begin to take college level courses. But we are seeing improvements in our retention efforts. So that's sort of an example of the types of things that you may see and hear from me moving forward. And then of course I'll always provide the enrollment update. As was shared by Calvin and team earlier, we are up over 4%. This would actually mark the fourth or fifth consecutive semester now where we've had positive increases in enrollment, so we need to keep that going. For the spring semester, enrollment has started back in October, and we are up in student enrollment by 3.4% and 5.1% in FTSE. So of course, there's a lot of time between now and the start of the spring semester. We hope to maintain those numbers. Usually our last minute folks will come in that week just after the new year and enroll in heavy numbers. So I will keep you posted. And then you're going to begin to hear pretty productive legislative updates. For right now, with new staff on the board, the government relations team is diligently preparing for the next legislative session, which starts on January 8th. That will be a day prior to our next board meeting. In September, legislators were invited to tour campuses and programs of interest. 4 such tours have been successfully executed. 3 more are scheduled and 3 others are in process. So there's a lot of interest from our state legislators in the work that we're doing in Maricopa. In November, Governor Hobbs announced the finalization of a long-sought priority of the government relations team, a Future 48 workforce accelerator in collaboration with the Maricopa system. This project was a particular passion of Darcy Renfro's, and the team was delighted to get it across the finish line in her honor. And so the remaining, what remains is the course dollar amounts, details, and the when of all of this. So we're looking forward to this, and we're also looking forward. Government relations is pursuing the board's approved agenda and actively contributing to stakeholder meetings on issues such as adult education as we approach the session. And the team is also working with AC4 to coordinate participation of our colleges at the public event, Community College Day at the Capitol, which will take place on January 30th. We anticipate that all 10 colleges will have a booth and actively participate in that very important day. And as you stated earlier, President Sullivan, I would like to work with our employee groups to think about our presentations to our governing board and how we maximize those moments in our time with our board. And so we hope to be able to come back and maybe meet some of the interests that have been shared here this evening. And then, of course, there's the happy holiday message to say thank you to everyone for a very successful, very productive calendar year. There was no way that we could have done it without each and every one of you putting in your best effort to make this the best system in the nation. So I want to thank each and every one of you and congratulate each and every one of you. And to also say that I look forward to coming back in January. And I got an update to the personal assessment that I've done, and now it's moved from 100 years worth of work to 150 years worth of work ahead of us. So no one can retire anytime soon. So emeritus status is now off the table, okay? And finally, President Sullivan, as we come to the end of this calendar year, in many ways, this could be your last meeting as our board chair, and this is after 4 years. So this is something, for those of you that are new to Maricopa, hasn't been done in Maricopa's history. Board chairs will usually serve a year, and then someone else gets voted in. And they may become board chair again 5, 7, or 8 years down the road. But Mrs. Sullivan has done something entirely different, and she has served as the board chair the entire time that I've served as interim chancellor and now the permanent chancellor. And so we want to recognize that. And some of us have put together remaining pennies that we've had from this year, because it's been the inflation rates have been high. But we've come together and we've got some flowers that we want to present to you. And so is there someone from the audience that would come up and help with that, please? Kate's coming up. Thank you, Kate. And Dr. Robinson. So I've got Dr. Smith and Dr. Robinson, who will come over and present these flowers to you, President Sullivan, for the good work that you have done, your leadership.
Oh my God, those are beautiful.
President Sullivan, there's one more item, and this one's from me personally, for the tremendous amount of support that have given me in this 4-year period, and for the time that we've spent. You guys may not know this, but President Sullivan and I, there's usually not a day that goes by, including Saturdays and Sundays, when we're not in communication about something in the Maricopa system. And it's been really cool to watch the nature of our conversations change. And they're really good conversations. They've always been good conversations, but I mean that they're really good conversations in that it's forecasting kinds of conversations rather than reactive type conversations. And so I just truly appreciate that and your support. Some of you know that I'm into wood turning, and so I have turned something for you to give. There's also another item in this that I'm going to ask you not to take out and reveal to what it is. We'll just say it's grandma's cough syrup. So just trust that. But I want to present a bowl that I have made for you, and it's made out of a sisu tree, which is also a rosewood tree. And, you know, I didn't realize after all these years here, I was walking from the district office over to here for the board meeting, and I noticed a missing tree that had been cut to the ground, and I looked at it, and because I look at wood differently now, and I noticed that it was the same wood that this bowl is made out of. And then I looked at the line of trees. So if you look at in front of the visitor parking spaces, all of those trees are sisu trees, and that's what this bowl is made out of. So I'd like to present that to you. That concludes my presentation and update, President Sullivan. Thank you.
Now it's your turn. How many of you have ever known me to be speechless? My first 2 words are thank you. I remember that day in January when we were sitting at a board table, Dr. Thor and Dr. Narini and me and a few others, and we had been faced with some big issues, and Dr. Thor took the gavel, or the trusty gavel, called the meeting to order, proceeded to nominate me as president, and the board, with one exception, which was rather odd, not because that person chose not to support me, but the manner in which it happened. Do we remember that? And some of you in the audience may remember that as well. I was elected board chair. And in 2 weeks, we were establishing a search for a new chancellor, and we were facing hiring an interim chancellor. And we proceeded, and so on January, I believe it was 19, we selected Dr. Gonzalez to be our interim chancellor, and our phone calls began. It was a distinct honor to follow Dr. Thor's leadership, and I thought the only way you can do a good job is if you just jump right in and you work really, really hard and you listen to people around you to give you good guidance and good advice, and to kind of study and think about and analyze what people are sharing with you so you could put your own perspective in that space. But that the most important thing was the hard work and listening. So I tried with Dr. Gonzalez to listen, and we both kind of stumbled around through the listening because he didn't know much about me and I didn't know much about him. I had a great leader and a great peer in Dr. Narini, and so we just kept going, and boy, I think the first month it was 40 hours a week from a volunteer governing board member. And I could go on, but I guess where that has taken me 4 years later is those hours haven't gone away. maybe diminished a little, but as you said, the spirit of the conversations have changed dramatically. I mean, look at us. You are a dynamic, interesting, talented board. It has been a great honor to work with each one of you as your leader, and now I'm looking forward to seeing one of you move forward, because I think the test of leadership is also how can you transfer the leadership opportunity and how can you grow leaders around you to carrying on in new and different ways. And I'm really excited for the thinking that you've done, Dr. Gonzalez, about the reports and what the board wants to know and how the board can move forward. And as I look at all of you as college presidents, thinking you have great opportunities as well as to work with Dr. Gonzalez in this way so the board can become even better. And I've only been a small part of that. But the most important thing for me, before I sit down and start really blubbering, is the relationships that I've been able to build with every single person through this work. And one thing I know inherently in my heart and in my soul and in my head is that there is no finer group of people working every day to advance the dignity of the human person through work, the dignity of the human person through education, and the dignity of the human person to prevail in their best sense of self. And each one of you who are here every day do that work. And some days we have good days and some days we have not so good days, but they pale into what our students are doing and facing. So this board and others before it have given me the opportunity to sit here and play with the gavel. It's really fun. You know, it makes noise, though I'm always interested in how can I turn it into a tune. You've heard me stumble through pronunciations, and so I'm just going to make a blanket apology to anybody whose name I've ever mispronounced. You've heard me play with the microphone, and Jordan's there somewhere, and he's probably laughing because sometimes I have it on and sometimes I have it off. And when you're board chair, the next board chair, I'm sure will know how to use the microphone. This recognition's pretty incredible. And people who know me personally know I love bowls. And I have a whole shelf of bowls, a lot of them done by a friend of mine, Joel Nilsson, who was an editor for the Arizona Republic and retired to do potting and then passed on from cancer. But I have a whole shelf of his bowls. I have bowls from a really dear friend, other friends they've given me their mother's bowls when they've died, and other people's bowls, because they know it'll mean a lot to me. But I think this gets the primary place of honor because it represents you, and it represents all of you. And thank you for letting me just blubber. It's just a position. It's just a position. But I guess we all can say it's just a position. Each one of us fill just a position. But as you look in here, it's what we do with that. And it's how we choose to honor and respect people. And no one does it better than all of you. And Dr. Gonzalez, it's been an absolute pleasure. 40 hours, 60 hours a week, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, while you're hunting and I have to send out a crew to find you. That's a joke. I haven't had to do that. No, there was one time. Yeah, there was one time. Facing, do we shut the school down? I remember that. It was March 16th. Isn't it interesting how I remember these dates? Because the next day I was going in for hip replacement surgery and I'm on the phone and I just had a blood test and I get a call from Dr. Gonzalez and others who are affiliated with technology and driving along, and I get the story of the hacking, and it's, Ms. Sullivan, what do we do now? And we're saying, well, Dr. Gonzalez, what do you think we should do? So we talked about it. Next thing you know, the college just sort of shut down. So that's what happens when you're on your way to surgery. And so then the next day, I'm going under surgery, and I'm turning to Dr. Narini, who's the secretary, and saying, no, you're going to have to really pay attention to what's going on, blah, 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 blah. So I'm coming out of my anesthesia, and my daughter is there, but my daughter, by the way, is a surgeon, so what can I say? And so she's holding my hand, and my first thing is, did Dr. Narini call? And she said, Mom, what are you talking about? She thought I was crazy. Anyway, it's all of you who make this position work. It's all of you who help every single board member do their best job. And regardless of where we sit at the dais, whether you're isolated at the end or whether you're sitting in the middle, it's all of us working together. It's not the position, it's who you are as the leader, right? A leader, and we're all leaders. And there's a couple other people I need to acknowledge who have helped me through 4 years, and that is Elza, certainly. Elza was hired, what, a month after I started? Yeah, she was hired a month or two after I started. So she got the baptism by fire that I was getting and Dr. Gonzalez was getting, so she got it as well. She survived. Dr. Thor took us through a lot of stuff. I've been joined by many of you, so I've taken way too much time because I know you all want to go home and eat dinner and have a drink. I know I do. I don't know. This is just really incredibly moving for just doing what I do. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you so much, and may you all enjoy a wonderful holiday. Oh, it's up to me.
I can do some tap dancing over here.
Good. Don't I have a secretary? Yeah. She's gone. Okay, so back to business. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got... all right. And for those of you who are new, yes, I do know how to run a meeting, but it's not very obvious. With that, we're going to move to citizens interim, and this is obviously an opportunity for someone from the audience, the civic responsibility role. Do we have any folks presenting, Elza? All right, so then we're going to move to consideration of the consent agenda. So all items under the section are consent matters unless they were removed from the consent agenda at this time. Do any board members or the chancellor wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Being none, I'm going to ask for a motion to support the consent agenda. Please.
I move that we support the consent agenda.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. With the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, all those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? By a vote of 6-0, the consent agenda passes. We now move on to our non-consent action item. And the first item is approval of establishment of a quasi-endowment as reserve for self-insured medical plan, transfer fund balance from the general fund to the quasi-endowment fund, and use for medical insurance claims in excess of funding. At our agenda review, we did have a presentation from Ms. Granillo giving us information on that to solidify our understanding. There's also was material in our packet to read. So board members, with that, do you have any questions or comments on the being none in that general capacity? Do I have a motion to approve the transfer as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms.
It was me. Who moved
Yeah,
it?
it was Kelly.
Oh, Kelly. I apologize,
Sorry.
Kelly.
I'll second.
Okay, so Ms. Butler made the motion, Dr. Thor made the second. Is there a discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Being none, the motion carries by a vote of 6-0. Congratulations. Thank you again, Ms. Granillo, for your presentation so the board can understand that. And Dr. Kelly, thank you. And Mr. Wilson for your work in that effort. And I know staff representation and others had a great deal to do with this, so thank you, all of you. Moving on to first read and information items, employment and separation, October 7, 23 through November 3, 2023. Is there any comment from the board on that item? None. We also have a proposed 2024 calendar year for Maricopa Community College District Governing Board meeting schedules. Right now it's presented in its usual format of agenda review, 2 weeks later, a regular board meeting. As far as I understand, of course, you, since I'm choosing I will not be the board chair, it will be contingent on the new board chair to work with the board to determine if that calendar stands. My sense is it probably will, with a couple exceptions. Then we may sprinkle some work sessions and other activities in there. I will note that I think it's May 7, we're supposed to have an agenda review, but the Rolling Stones are in town, so some of you may not be at agenda review. Oh, I mean, I may not be at agenda review, excuse me. But anyway, that is the calendar. Are there any comments or questions from board members on that? None. Moving to monitoring reports, budget analysis report, Fund 1, general unrestricted fund for the 12 months ending 6/30/23 is the final report. And then a budget analysis report, Fund 1, general unrestricted fund for the 5 months ending November 30, 2023. Board members, do you have any comments or questions? Being none, then we're going to move on. Again, for new people in the audience, the board does a tremendous amount of homework behind the scenes, reading the packets, studying materials, having opportunity in agenda reviews to ask questions. So sometimes it appears that we may not know the item because we're pretty informed previously. So just keep that in mind as you listen. If you have any questions of the board, please direct them through the chancellor, and then we can also deal with those comments or points of view that you may have. And that was directed to our new leaders also to help understand why this board meeting tends to go smoothly at times. With that, I'm going to move to our community reports. Ms. Butler.
Oh, thank you, President Sullivan. Since the last board meeting, I was able to attend. I'm a member of the Maricopa Foundation board, so I attended their board meeting, our board meeting. And I just want to say that it was both a review of the Heroes of Education event, which was wonderful and successful, but for me, it was also a chance to meet the business community leaders who are supporting the foundation and supporting our students and are really working hard, you know, in their capacity on our foundation board to make sure that they're doing everything they can to make sure our students and colleges are successful. So it was very fun. And since this meeting is a little bit of a celebration of President Sullivan, I just want to thank you for what has been a wonderful first year for me as a new board member, but also just for your leadership and your mentorship. And working with Marie has just been a joy. She absolutely is so thoughtful and cares so much about the work that we're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. Ms. Davis.
Since our last meeting, I attended Brian Spicker's Man of the Year Award for Valley Leadership, which was a great event. Many of us were there, and it was really a fun event, and it was fun to meet some of the people there. I think I was one of the last ones to leave, right, Brian? Brian was ushering us out the door. And then earlier this week, we went to the Rosenthal Mentor celebration. And I know that's one of your favorite events, and you weren't able to attend, and now I see why it's one of your favorite events. It was really wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to a couple of nurse pinning ceremonies this week, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you, and thank you, President Sullivan, for all that you've done. You have been a remarkable leader. If I could be half the leader you are, I would be happy.
Thank you. I consider you a great leader, so thank you. Dr. Narini.
Well, thank you. It was a short month, but an inspiring month.
Oh, he's wearing another T-shirt.
So
Would you
yeah,
stand up?
I'll start with last month's Girls Get IT at Scottsdale Community College. So. And the next one is, if you'll notice, the butterfly from the Lyndon Rosenthal event. And so there were some remarkable women there and great leadership, so we're in great hands as we're moving forward. On December 10th, well, actually it was like a week before December 10th, because I had to read a whole stack of applications. I was a judge for the Youth of the Year for the Arizona Boys and Girls Club. And well, there was 12 applicants from all the different clubs in the city or in the county. And one of the questions they asked was, you know, where are your college plans? And most of them are planning to come to one of the Maricopa colleges. So it was really exciting to see that. Remarkable young people, too. And I just want to do a shout out to South Mountain for their being in their ACE program for being a legacy finalist for the 2024 Bellwether Award. So ACE, as all you know, it's a remarkable program. And again, more hope for us because these students are pretty remarkable. They're giving up their Saturdays. These are high school students. They're giving up their Saturdays and they're giving up their summers to come and be college students. So between the Girls Get IT, the Rosenthal group, the youth leadership, or the Youth of the Year Award people, and the ACE program, we're in good hands as we move forward. So I want to congratulate all the ACE programs, but especially South Mountains for what they're doing for the students. And again, thank Ms. Sullivan for her leadership and friendship on the board. It's made my time on the board, because we started at the same time, so it's made my time a lot easier. Doesn't mean it's made it easy, just made it easier.
Oh, darn, I was trying to make it hard on you, frankly.
And to everybody else, I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, and to you and your family, and make sure it's a wonderful one.
Thank you, Dr.
That's my
Marini. Ms. Smith?
Thank you. I also just want to say thank you, President Sullivan, for everything you've done as a mentor and colleague on this board. I really appreciate your leadership. I've learned a lot from you. I just wanted to offer a quick reflection and I guess almost like a request in 2024. A learning type of goal that I've set for myself is to better understand the CHIPS and Science Act and its implications for our district. I've been reading a little bit more about some of the initial investments that have been made in different hubs, and I'm particularly interested in the blend of government and philanthropic dollars to spark regional economies. And I think that there is likely a lot that our district is doing that is not at the top of my mind that I'd love to be more aware of. So if there's information that you can share, would love and welcome opportunities and discussions on this topic. So it's kind of, as my husband would say, the dorkiest New Year's resolution he's ever heard of. So, but that's the one I've set in terms of the district. I have other ones related to things with my son, my interests, but that's something that I'm thinking about. Happy holidays and healthy New Year as well. Don't let any toddlers sneeze on you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Dr. Thor?
I also had the opportunity to join with many of the other board members at the Valley Leadership Man and Woman of the Year event honoring Brian Spicker. Last Friday, I again joined fellow members of the board at the Linda B. Rosenthal Mentor Program Meet and Mingle, and was pleased to be able to make some brief remarks representing President Sullivan, who became ill that afternoon. But you look pretty good now, so
Oh, thank
we're
you.
happy about that. And again this year, I'm helping to facilitate the Executive Leadership Institute offered by the League for Innovation in the community college. The institute, which is for aspiring college presidents, began on Sunday morning and continues through Wednesday. And I know there are many graduates of ELI in this room tonight. And I'm pleased that we're adding 2 more in this particular class. Genesis Toole, Dean of Student Life at Glendale Community College, and Demita Kalusian, Interim Vice President of Student Affairs at Scottsdale Community College. The Institute brings outstanding community college leaders from across the nation to present to the participants. However, our opening speaker this morning didn't have to take a plane. And that's because Chancellor Gonzalez was our speaker, and he gave an outstanding presentation on leadership change and organizational culture. And it was very inspiring and greatly appreciated by the participants. And I too want to thank President Sullivan for 4 outstanding years as service as our board president, and to also thank her for her friendship, and we can look forward to your continued contribution to this district and to this board. And then I also want to wish everyone a healthy and happy holidays, and I look forward to working with all of you in the new year.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. I have nothing else to say from a community standpoint. I did miss the Linda Rosenthal event, and it was a pretty last-minute thing. So please invite me back next year, because I was very, very disappointed to not be there. You know, the mentorship concept, and particularly moving people up in district responsibilities and leadership, is very, very important, not only for all of our futures, but for the people's personal futures. And I think that the mentorship program through Linda Rosenthal, with Linda Rosenthal's name, more or less endowing it every time it's uttered, I think is incredible. And so I was disappointed, Dr. Hernandez, to have missed the event. But again, keep me on that list, please. I'd love to come. Went to the Valley Leadership event, and, you know, Mr. Spicker, I've worked with you for, gosh, how many years now? Do we go back to Body Positive? Oh, hair. Well, mine went gray and you lost yours, so I don't know what that means about our work together, but it's been a long time. It was a pleasure to be there and honor you with all of my colleagues. I think, Mr. Bates, you mentioned two words that stood out this evening. One was gratitude, the other was joy. So as you're reflecting on your own experiences as this calendar year ends, I hope you can find opportunity to hold on to the gratitude that hopefully came to each one of you in your experiences and your opportunities, and also gratitude for challenges. You know, challenges make us sometimes reflect and do better. And I think that there's a lot to be embraced in gratitude. So Mr. Bates, thank you for that. The other one is joy. We are in a joyous season. I think the mariachis prove that, and I think certainly the smiles in your faces during that time express that. I hope you find joy in your holidays. I hope you find joy as you begin to face the new year. And I have to tell you, I feel deep gratitude. I also feel joy in having had an opportunity to lead you. I'm not done, just done in this role right now, and I'm excited for what next year is. I think we have come so far in 4 years. I mean, look at each other. What can you say has shifted in your culture? What can we say? The reports, and we can now actually talk about what can a report do differently instead of, I mean, that's pretty remarkable to get a cohesive community thinking about how do we set out our challenges. I think Mr. Martin back there, I mean, remember sometimes those first conversations, early days, when it was, how do we do this? Oh my God. And it was, well, we're just going to slog through it. Well, now we're there. We've slogged. Now we're walking. We were slogging, right? Well, anyway, I know there's good things to come. I already know a little bit about some of the reports that are going to be presented in January. Such excitement. Face the new year with joy, folks. Let's come back in January. We're going to be at Phoenix College. It'll be on January 9th. I believe there's a work session that day. Ms. Granillo, maybe? Okay. Anyway, we'll confirm that as tentative, and then we'll go into agenda review with a new officer and take off from there, moving into January 23rd as our regular board meeting, also at Phoenix College. So with that, everyone, have a joyous, joyous holiday. Thank you. I'm touched beyond measure. Thank you. It's been a pleasure working with everyone and continuing to work. And thank you for all your nice words. I hope you didn't feel put on the spot. Oh, my God. But with that, the meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.